Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Dan's Pro Shop. Today we got some cool stuff for you. I know I may have hinted to this before, and for those of you that are frequent to the channel, you know that I've done something similar to this before. Today we are talking Olight. That's right, the brand newest stuff from Olight. In case you guys don't know what Olight is, they are still relatively new, but not super new. Like they came out around 07, 08, but they are like quickly taking the flashlight scene by storm. Like last year on Amazon, the Arkfeld Pro, which is the predecessor to this one, which we'll get to, don't worry about it, was the #1 selling flashlight on Amazon. So to be the #1 anything on Amazon, you know you got to move some product. So these guys were actually just released, at least as at the time of this video. These were released publicly yesterday at their like new product show in Vegas. So I am one of the first people to get his hands on these things. So let's just get into it and see what they're about. So we might as well start with this one because it's not the traditional light, dare I say. But this is one of the things that they like unveiled and made specifically for this release season. And it is nifty. It's not necessarily an industrial application like I would particularly find myself using, but it is cool and it's super affordable. This is the Olight Sphere. And when you dig into this thing, like, yes, forgive me, I have had it open because I wanted to play with it a little bit and see exactly what it does before I come to you guys. So at least I'm a little bit better informed. But you unbox this thing. This is what we have right here, the Olight Sphere. So if I had to guess, this thing's probably, I don't know, 2 inches or so ID. I mean, it's smaller than a billiard ball, but bigger than a ping pong ball, and it weighs absolutely nothing. But the whole point of this thing is that it's a do whatever you want LED. And the battery and the internal battery in this thing is supposed to last for like 40 hours. It is ridiculous what this thing does. So you simply click it to turn it on, and it does all kinds of crazy stuff. Every time you click it, it does something new. So not only is it just like a regular light like this, like you can just slap it onto something, because that's the other cool thing. This thing is magnetic. So yeah, you're working in a panel or something, you can stick this to whatever you're doing. And it's, I mean, it's not a crazy strong magnet, but it's strong enough to hold itself in the position where you want it to go. So like I mentioned, you keep on clicking this thing, it keeps on doing different stuff. And if you click and hold, it changes the brightness or dimness of it. And it's the same thing in the other direction. But not only does this do all kinds of crazy crap, this thing is controlled with an app. Well, I mean, you don't have to, but you can, and it really unlocks what this thing can do. So let me kill the lights a little bit so you guys can get a better taste of what this thing is. So here's a little bit better up close of this thing. You can tell it's like a diffused LED in the center, and it's surrounded by this protective like polycarbonate outer shell. And it appears to have like a anodized aluminum ring, just to, I don't know, kind of be like the beauty ring and hold everything together. And under here is not only the magnet, but this houses the battery, and this is where you charge it from. We will get to that, and it's kind of the thing that Olight is known for, so you guys probably already know where I'm going with this. But since we're looking at this thing up close, let's look how it works. So you simply just tap it, and it turns on. Now, like I mentioned, there are a million different modes for this thing, so you can just click through them and cycle it. Or if you want to just simply change the dimness or brightness of it, click and hold, and then it gets brighter or darker, whatever you want to do. So we just cycle through the different options. Like this one is just on as a light. This is just a different color. You scan through all of these things. It does all kinds of different crap, you know, like a flashing red for an emergency signal. This does this rainbow stuff. So like if you put this in a dark room, this would illuminate everything pretty cool. And if you want to undo this, like just to turn it off for storage, double click, and then it does that little sweep thing to let you know that it's powered down. Now let's get to the charging. Now guys, like I mentioned, the charger on this thing, if you're familiar with Olight, they have like invented their own way to charge stuff with this magnetic clip. once you just slap it on there, it just works. So yeah, it's literally that easy. It's just this little magnetic puck. It slaps right onto this thing, and then the outer ring of this like changes colors. It's red whenever it's charging, and it'll turn green when it's fully charged. I know this is kind of difficult for you to see, but I'll bring you in and show you better how this works. So the charger itself, this is the part that comes in the box. It's just a regular USB-A with the fancy magnetic puck on the other side. So you simply just use a USB charger, plug it into your computer, plug it into an adapter, outlet, whatever you got. As soon as you get that going in the right direction, there you go, regular USB charger. You see how this guy lights up green? This is just simply letting you know that it's powered and it's not hooked up to anything right now. But as soon as you put it onto something to charge, this turns red and lets you know that it's charging. And whenever it's completely charged or you unplug it, it turns green again to let you know everything's good. And that is how this thing gets charged for countless hours of just awesome illumination that you can completely change. Now, I mentioned this thing can be controlled by an app. Let's go over that real quick. Actually, I got a little clip from that fall release event. You can see it for yourself. So yeah, guys, I don't know about you, but for 19.99, 20 bucks retail, this is a nifty little thing to have. Like I mentioned, it's not exactly an industrial light like I would use every day, but you know, you can keep this on your desk, and especially like if you're an electrical guy, slap this on the inside of panels or I don't know, just anything and everything you're doing. Make it, even like if you just leave this in your car because it's so inexpensive, you maybe put this up under the hood if you get stuck somewhere, or like in the fender well, or I don't know. There are cool opportunities for this in our line of work, even though that's not specifically what it's made for. And another cool thing, since it's like so robust and it's kind of like made to be beat up a little bit, this is like super kid friendly too. So like if your 2-year old gets a hold of this thing, you don't have to really worry about it because it's kind of built to beat up. Like it is nifty and it's super user friendly. And especially with that app, the fact that you can combine like 100 of these and control them together through the one app. Like I don't know, it's just you're doing stuff out on your back porch for a party or something, and you just want to create the mood or the ambiance or whatever. You can have literally up to 100 of these things and put them everywhere and like create your own little thing. But it is nifty for what this is, and the fact that they offer this thing for 20 bucks, I think it's worth a look. So make sure you check out the link down in the description. And in case you guys are interested about like the fall release that they just did in Vegas, they actually did that as a live stream on their YouTube also. So I will link that down in the description also in case you want to see this stuff like directly from the horse's mouth from Olight. Now that we've gone over this thing, the one you've been waiting for, the new Arkfeld Ultra from Olight. Now, the previous one that I went over was the Arkfeld Pro. That's the one that's the best-selling flashlight on Amazon. And this is their new version of it. They haven't changed a ton, but they've changed enough to make it notable. So let's just go over it. The first thing that's pretty darn obvious is like the quality of the box here. It's kind of like if you've ever opened a new iPhone, you know, you get that like suction of the box, and it's just, it seems like it's just a quality box, like something that you would think twice about throwing away, which automatically just kind of gears your head towards like a quality thing. You know, it's just, it's nice that you get a good presentation. And whenever you open the box, this is what we're looking at. And take note to the color, like this real earthy, like camo green kind of looking thing. Well, believe it or not, that was not intentional. Olight I don't know if like invented or found or created a new material to make this light out of. Now, like I'm sure you guys know, most quality flashlights are made out of aluminum, and really good quality flashlights are made out of billet aluminum. Well, this one takes it just a little bit further. This thing is called OAL, and it stands for Olight aluminum. It is a newer grade of aluminum that is supposed to be better than 6061, which is like normal. Like it's robust aluminum, but it's I guess not as good as it could be. So they found a balance between what is feasible price wise and what is the best durability wise that you can get. So this is another clip from their fall release here where they took four different types of aluminum, including that new OAL. There's 6061, 7024, and OAL. Just attention tests to show you how strong this stuff really is. So going back to the color here, this new O aluminum that they created this Arkfeld out of, after it is oxidized and sandblasted. So meaning like it's gone through its weathering and treatment and everything, because no matter what metal is made out of, whether it's ferrous or not, you always have some oxidation. So something will happen to the surface of any kind of metal after it's been anything done with. So this has been oxidized and sandblasted. So you get a little bit more of a thin, like a textured finish. Well, during the oxidation process of this aluminum, it just naturally churns this color. So in its bare state, it looks like just regular old silvery aluminum. But after oxidation, this is what happens. This is not anodized. This is not paint. This is not a wrap. It's nothing. This is just the bare state of this material once it has oxidized. And honestly, I think it's freaking cool. Like I've seen other people that like try to imitate this like military camo green, and they're not even trying to with this one. This is just the way that it works, and the durability and strength of this material, like I can't vouch because I don't know, I just got this thing, but it's supposed to be off the charts durable, like way more than regular 6061 aluminum. So let's just go over this thing. So like I mentioned, fancy box here. Like it seems to, I don't know if this is just like that hollow core, plastic, cardboard stuff. Either way, but it's nice. And this is the presentation you get here. There's a little sticker here with a thing just saying like it's shipped in a lock and tells you how to unlock it. That way it doesn't kill the battery in transit. But this is the Arkfeld Ultra itself. And this is a quality item.
It's a good quality item.
I tell you what, let me grab the Pro just so you guys can see the differences, because I've been using the Pro as my everyday carry for a little over a year now. So here we are with the Arkfeld Pro, dare I say the original, the OG of this light. And you can tell it's banged up a little bit, it's beat up. This is my normal everyday keep in my pocket flashlight, and it still operates fantastically. Like I absolutely love this thing. It's got the UV, it's got the green laser, and it's got a ridiculously bright light. And it's just like the way that it's tactile works really good. And just, I don't know, I like the shape of it because it's more flat and it fits in your pocket. It has the magnetic charging base that we've all come to know and love from Olight. And just the fact that it's magnetic, it makes it super handy to snap on the inside of cabinets and stuff. And this cool clip that they've come up with. Now you guys can see here the similarities between the Pro and the Ultra. So first thing to note is that you can tell the profile has changed a bit, because they have come up with new ways to like CNC billet this thing. And there's this new like laser perforation that they use. And it's difficult to tell here, but the battery indicator is the same as it is on the Pro. But you see how the Pro, like there's actually holes there, and there's like a backlit LED thing that kind of protrudes through the billet aluminum. Well, this one, there are no holes. Like, dare I say, there's no holes like it is like this. It's more like perforated. So the laser that they use to do all this engraving here actually permeates the outside of this aluminum and creates little holes enough that you can see a light through. So yes, there are holes there, but not actual holes. I know that doesn't really mean anything to the function of this, but it is cool that they're using that kind of technology for something like a flashlight. And you guys take a look at the profile here. You see how it kind of like ramps up to the switch in the side here, and then it kind of ramps back down. The original Pro doesn't really do that. I mean, yes, it's still kind of sleek, and I had never really had an issue with this thing, but they have created this thing so it's a little bit bigger and ramps up to this to keep the switch from getting beat up. And the fact that they kept this switch, I love it. Because I don't know, I find myself sitting at my desk all the time just playing with this thing back and forth. So it does have that like fidget spinner factor to it. And take a look at the sides here. This knurling that they've put in here. Yes, there is like serrations on the side of this one, kind of like the slide of a pew pew. If you guys know what I'm talking about, this is very similar to a Smith and Wesson, if I'm being honest with you. But they have changed things here, and it's kind of, I don't even know how to describe this. It's kind of like a leathery texture, but they use like a diamond jewelry file to do this on a CNC mill. And believe it or not, during that reveal they did in Vegas, they told us that it takes 12-minute cycle time to go around and do all of this engraving, do all the badging, and like this thing for the battery life indicator, and just to put all of this crap on here. It takes 12 minutes per. So if their cycle time is that high on this thing, and like they still sell this thing at a reasonable price point, this one, the Pro, is $99.99, and this one is $119.99. So they've drastically changed things, but kept the price still in line. Like, yes, it's a little bit more expensive, but there are also more goodies. Like this one has an extended battery life, and the normal flashlight part of it is brighter than this one. It's not crazy brighter, but it is brighter. And simple little things like you see here how we have like the light, the laser, the UV, and all. This is like silk screened on here with ink. This one is now all laser etched in, so it will never come off. And it's just, you can tell that they were focusing more on quality on this one. And another thing to take note of is take a look at the pocket clips on the rear end here. The one on the Ultra is significantly more robust, and like the where it bolts into is a lot wider, because apparently this became a stress issue here. And I don't know if you were like, people were catching them on their vehicles, getting in and out, but it's still the same style of clip. It's just a lot more meaty and beefy. And one of the coolest things about these clips, like the weird outside part of it that everybody kind of just wonders what it's for, I'll show you the number one thing I use it for. So yeah, guys, the clip on the back of this thing. Obviously, you can use it for a regular old pocket clip. Yeah, that's cool. But this outside clip, what's the point of that? Well, I've mentioned before, like you put it in your pocket, and then you're left with this clip on the outside that you can like hook your keys on or whatever. Yes, that is handy. But the coolest thing I found with it is that you hook it onto the brim of your hat. I'm sorry, this would be a lot easier with both hands. But see what I'm doing here? It's just handy. That's the way that this thing works. I don't know if it's specifically intended to do that, but boy howdy, does it work fantastically. So if you're a fellow that wears a hat all the time, now you have a hat light in your pocket for a normal flashlight. Like the fact that they've created and innovated this clip and made it a little bit better and carried it through their product line, like I absolutely freaking love this thing, and it's well worth the investment. And just in case you're wondering, yes, this takes the exact same charging as the previous Arkfeld and the Sphere. So this, like I mentioned, this is kind of like Olight's thing, this little clip-on magnetic charger thing. It's fantastic. I love it. And not to mention, these things, their battery life is incredible. Like I mentioned, the Pro here, this is my normal everyday carry flashlight for almost, if not over a year. I've only charged it twice. 2 times since I got this flashlight have I charged it. Twice. It is phenomenal. And every time you do a power cycle on and off, you get the battery life indicator in the front. And like I've never even had this thing dead. Like whenever it would go down to maybe 1 bar left, and I would charge it. And 2 times in a year. I mean, I know that there will be people that use this thing more than me, but I mean, I do use it every day, not for like hours every day, but enough. I use this thing every day. And the battery life is fantastic. And supposedly on this new Arkfeld Ultra, the battery life is even better. But it's kind of like a trade-off. It's a better battery life, but it also has a brighter, regular, like flashlight, white light. Still, the fact that we got all the cool stuff, like the green laser, it is super handy. I absolutely love this thing because it's just easy. You know, you're in a mill or a factory or something like, hey, Jim, that pipe up there. Well, what pipe? Now you pull your flashlight out of your pocket, and like that pipe, numb nuts, it's right there. Look at it. And for the automotive guys, like for those of you that don't know, I used to be a tech myself. If you're checking for coolant leaks regularly or air conditioning refrigerant leaks, now you have a UV light on your normal everyday carry flashlight. So if somebody comes in, oh, my air conditioning ain't working. You pop the hood, and in 2 seconds, you just scan real quick to see if you see any dye anywhere. Like, well, man, your condenser's shot. What do you want me to do about it? Well, I don't know about you guys, but these things are pretty slick. Like I mentioned, the Sphere is not really kind of like a me thing, but I see the applications for this thing, and for the price point, you really can't go wrong. I mean, for 19 bucks on Amazon, it's why not give it a go? I'm sure if not you, someone in your house will find a use for this thing. If nothing else, it's like a cool stocking stuffer. It's not going to break the bank, but it's something that's interesting that I guarantee people will get a kick out of and end up using it, especially for kids. Kids would absolutely freaking love this thing. And the Arkfeld Ultra, I don't even need to tell you. I love the Pro so much, I know that I'm going to absolutely love this thing. It's quality for what it is. This is like one of those lifelong things. Like you buy this once and that's it. Obviously, the thing holds up because I've been beating the crap out of this one in my pocket every day, and it still works just as good as the day I bought it. And the cool thing is that these two items here are only 2 out of 5 that they just released at that fall event. There are other cool stuff, like they have a new Baton 4. I think it's like that crazy like wide flood flashlight thing that just, you've seen videos like people lighting up the side of the forest with one little flashlight. Yeah, it's one of those. And they have another one, it's called a Perun or a Perrin. I don't know, it's a flashlight that comes with headgear. So like it's a normal pocket flashlight, but it can also snap in to a headband to be a hands-free headlight. And it's just, man, these guys just keep on innovating and innovating and innovating. And like it's a quality product for a reasonable and respectable price. So these guys are really hitting the nail on the head. And if you check out their website, this is just the tip of the iceberg. They have lights for everything. They have tactical lights. They have everyday carry lights. They have big mamma jamma flashlights that like you keep in your vehicle and different rechargeable stuff. And man, I got to tell you, Olight really is just picking it up. They are doing a great job. So if you guys are interested in any of the stuff that you saw here today, I will link that specifically down in the description below. And just check out the Olight's website that I will also link in the description, because they have so much stuff to offer besides what you saw here today. So I can genuinely recommend Olight. Not only the stuff you saw here today, but pretty much everything they make. You can guarantee that it's going to be a quality item. So if you guys are interested, please do check it out. And we will see you next time.